So I know you are a presidential historian, you look at the past, not the future, but based on what you have seen and studied of wayward presidential sons, how likely is it that Hunter Biden sees a conviction here?
Anything is possible. But again, why is it happening? It's a bad use of funds, it's a bad use of resources, and it's certainly a strange amount of attention to pay in such a consequential year to what would otherwise be a pretty insignificant court case. A Republican son, the most recent example, which we've already talked about, but it is relevant, is Neil Bush. That was settled out of court. So perhaps at the last minute, these things can always be settled out of court. That might happen. We don't know. But the fact that there has this been relentless pursuit of anyone that in the Biden family that they can get a hold of, whether it is an actual criminal case or just paying someone for someone's diary. I think that we need to look at our political system and what's within the bounds of propriety and what is certainly out of it. But what is comparable here? What is the agenda? We're talking about a president who has been convicted, who is sitting in many courtrooms throughout the United States, who is a presidential candidate for a major party, so the de facto leader of the Republican Party, and Hunter Biden, who has not held office, who is not seeking office. That's significant. It's not a fair fight. It's not equal, and it shouldn't be viewed as such.
It's not a fair fight. So I was going to conclude by asking you, what is your number one message for the public as everyone watches this trial unfold? You have studied the history. What is the one or two things people should have in mind as they watch the news cycle over the coming days and weeks?
Politics is not a reality television show. We will be living with the repercussions of whoever is elected for many decades to come. And we do remember in the recent past that we were very much affected by a presidential administration who mishandled a pandemic. We have to look not at the machinations of parties and of ads and political strategies, but rather legislation, which was very thin under former President Trump and has been substantial under Biden. He will go down in history as one of the most progressive presidents, despite to borrow a favorite phrase of former President Trump, the witch hunt that he has been the target of. And I think that is what voters need to look at, not these sideshows, but what really matters, because that is what is going to affect their lives on every single level.